The GOP's infighting over their FBI informant that was supposed to take down Biden and Hunter is really heating up. Take a look at this clip.
Looking at what you said last September, you were condemning your own party's impeachment efforts, saying that Republicans in the House who are itching for an impeachment inquiry are relying on an imagined history. Did you ever think that it would collapse in this spectacular of a fashion?
Well, Caitlin, it's even more of an imagined history now. Obviously, this witness, and we were warned at the time that we received the document outlining this witness's testimony. We were warned that the credibility of this statement was not known. And yet, people, my colleagues, went out and talked to the public about how this was credible and how it was damning and how it proved President Biden's, at the time, Vice President Biden's complicity in receiving bribes. It appears to absolutely be false and to really undercut the nature of the charges.
That is a GOP representative, Ken Buck, who is just being honest about the fact that the supposed basis for Joe Biden's impeachment was based on lies that are also possibly Russian propaganda. It's a mess, and if you were involved in that, you should be trying to distance yourself from it. But not just from the guy, from the effort that you said the guy was the foundation of. And unfortunately, while people like Ken Buck are willing to be honest in cases like this, James Comer, who's been leading up this impeachment inquiry, is not yet ready to give it up. Take a look.
All I knew about the informant was what Christopher Wray told me. He said he was one of the highest paid, most trusted informants in the Bureau, in the entire Bureau. And they had used him for over a decade, and they had successfully used him in prosecuting some criminals. He wasn't a factor in the investigation because we didn't even know who he was.
We didn't know. I've never even heard of like. It's getting really hot in here. I didn't do the entire thing wasn't resting on his shoulders.
It's getting really hot in this orca costume that I seem to be wearing all the time. Why do I look like I'm like a mascot for some kind of pancake breakfast situation? I don't know. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, I'm just a pancake. I don't know why.
He's such a ridiculous human. 100%. That what he said was such a lie that the word lie doesn't properly encapsulate it. In fact, it's a lie in multiple ways simultaneously, and we're gonna demonstrate them. We're gonna break them down to you. The first is a little mashup to prove how not important this guy was to them and their effort. Thankfully, it was put together by White House spokesman Ian Sams. Take a look at this.
Oversight Chairman James Comer says he and his colleagues plan to drop a bombshell.
It's going to be Judgment Day tomorrow for the White House.
You have the confidential FBI informant who's basically saying that Joe Biden took $5 million from Burisma.
The informant was a highly valued human source for the FBI.
A trusted, highly credible informant.
A trusted, confidential informant.
They had a credible source, one of their good sources.
Their most credible paid FBI informant.
We have determined that whistleblower is extremely credible.
Extremely credible, extremely credible. Their electeds were saying it. Their media was saying it over and over and over again. Ted Cruz did dozens of episodes of his podcast about that guy. Sean Hannity has not stopped talking about that guy for 3 years. But no, we don't really care about him. Okay, I want to show you one more thing before we discuss. They're now saying he's irrelevant. We don't even care about him or that document that he had. It wasn't essential in any way. Well, to flash you back to June of last year, he was asked by Harris Faulkner if Christopher Wray doesn't turn over that document that they don't care about, remember, is he going to prison? And Comer said, that's up to Christopher Wray. I wouldn't want to be held in contempt and end up in prison being the former head of the FBI. He cared so much about the document, he was threatening to lock up the head of the FBI if he didn't turn it over so that he could be killed in prison. That's the document that is utterly irrelevant to the Biden impeachment effort, Francesca.
FBI informants, notoriously honest people, never ever fingered anyone innocent, never ever done anything to, stay out of jail themselves, never ever worked for a foreign government as this guy did. Like everything is just, here's what I will say. The GOP is a circus, obviously. They're so ridiculous. And remember when they kept on talking about the informant, part of me was like, gee, I don't know. Maybe they have something. And then it was like a week or then 2, then 3. And you're like, okay, well, when's the case coming out? Like when do we get in there? Well, I don't know. Well, it's Christopher Wray. Now it's like whatever it is, it's Christopher Wray's fault. It's like Christopher Wray gave you a bone to chew on and make a bunch of like noise over for months and months and months. Then Hunter Biden's like, I will testify. And they're like, I'm scared now because we actually don't have anything. And this guy is actually kind of full of it. And I think he's just been indicted. And he was. And then to say, so that's the clown show. Then the other clown show is, let's be real, the FBI and their not shiny record on this. The very guy named Charles McGonigal, who was charged with investigating oligarchs from Russia like Deripaska. Whatever the third, Oleg Deripaska, whatever that dude's name is, right? That dude was then compromised for working for Oleg Deripaska. He became the guy on the inside of the FBI. What I'm saying is, who isn't a Russian spy, John? No, but like, of course, yeah, we knew that. Like, we could tell when they didn't produce anything that this was a big nothing burger, if not like actually kind of alarming in terms of how easy it is to launder information from the Kremlin into the GOP.
Yeah, because they want it and they don't care at all whether it's true. Again, because none of this is supposed to take down Biden. None of them actually think he's gonna be taken out. Well, they really want Harris as president. They don't care about that. It's about making it seem as if, well, I guess both of them have been impeached or have been investigated for impeachment. It's all the same, everyone. That's what it's about. And my final point will be, I don't know which Comer I like better, Happy Orca Comer or Scared Mickey Mouse Comer, but they're both good. And I will remind you all, thus far, no evidence has emerged that Joe Biden acted corruptly by violating the law. He did act corruptly, as virtually every American politician does, within the law, because the law has been set up to allow for massive corruption, and no one in the impeachment effort is trying to do anything about that. Let's just be clear. And also, the thing they have on Hunter Biden is that he got a job he wasn't qualified for. They're not trying to strengthen like regulations stopping family members of electeds from getting jobs. They're not trying to like make it so it's harder to become a lobbyist. It's just Hunter Biden. So there are problems here that are being revealed, but they don't want to solve any of those because they don't consider them to be problems.